Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Aussie Ideas Man. This guy's ranted so much, and a lot of it I see as being lies, but I'm just going to concentrate on one thing for now. Later on, I might make other videos, so this may run into a short series. But for now, I'm just saying, while he gives this writer that he's not an investment advisor, he's been surreptitiously giving people investment advice. He's just saved his butt from any legal ramifications. So this is the part that I concentrate on.
None of this, of course, is investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. But seriously, I'm so impressed by what...
There you go. Here's some extra information, and you can decide what you want to do with it. When APTERA Motors first started up, it had some major investors. They were corporate investors. They were big businesses. The biggest one of them all was Google. It had so much money, it could invest in APTERA out of its petty cash. And it did. It put a little bit towards it, thinking that it might be viable. Then what happened was, as time went on, they realised that the skin cooling didn't work. In particular, the X Prize competition made this obvious to them when the APTERA vehicle couldn't finish a race, but stopped and thermal throttled, waiting to cool down. In any case, APTERA never proved that it was fit for purpose. APTERA never fixed the cooling problem. This skin cooling doesn't work and is the core issue behind it being probably the biggest scam going. Probably was a scam in the first place. In any case, Google refused to add a couple of small millions to them to see this thing produced because they knew it wasn't going to work, and they cut their losses as early as possible. This is why, with the second round of APTERA, no corporate investor has turned up, because nobody in the second round of APTERA has proven that the skin cooling works. What has happened is we've had 3 public occasions where the skin cooling has failed it. It has overheated. It has stopped the thermal throttle. Now, this means the car's not fit for purpose. I should say silly trike. It's not a car. The silly trike is not fit for purpose. It won't be until they have fixed the skin cooling problem. Each time it has failed, Chris Anthony has come up with weak and probably lying excuses. But regardless of whether they make excuses or not, the main thing is they have not fixed the problem. There is still no evidence that a prototype can go more than 10 miles without thermal throttling. And it's just the way it is. It's the fact. Until they can do that, no company will invest in APTERA. It's just going to end in loss. And while APTERA was able to refund deposits, they weren't able to refund millions and millions of dollars that shareholders lost. Their shares devalued. Even Google shares devalued because of what was input into APTERA. Google was just able to conceal the fact by amortizing against a year of excellent returns in other areas. They were flying high. Now, I might make a series of this because there are lots more lies in his almost 20-minute rant, but I'll leave that for other times. For now, this is just to show that if you want to invest, you need to have a little more information than what Motormouth is willing to give you. That'll do for now. Bye from me. Stay safe.
If you're a rich billionaire out there looking for ways to make a difference, make an impact, and figure out which of these companies is actually managing their capital wisely, you need to be looking for startups that are thinking outside the box. So when you're looking for which startups are going to make it, you have to look at not just which ones are making the most desirable products, but which ones are managing their funds the most wisely. And in my experience of interviewing several different startup companies and analyzing so many different company spreadsheets, there is no electric vehicle startup company that is managing their budget as wisely as APTERA is. APTERA rethought the vehicle from the ground up for the electric vehicle age. And you need to find these kind of unique exclusive advantages in a brand in order to figure out who's going to survive this transition, because car companies, statistically speaking, most of the time they do not make it. It is very rare for any car brand to successfully mass produce a vehicle profitably and continue to thrive. It's even harder with an electric vehicle company, and it's even harder right now when so few people are willing to bet on electric vehicle brands. But I'm not telling you to just jump on a brand blindly because it looks cool, or I like the logo, or I like the design or something. No, live life with your heart, but invest with your brain, right? And the APTERA is designed and manufactured from the ground up with logic and with physics backing it up every step of the way. There's lots of startups out there that are basically making all the same things, right? We've got so many different versions of SUV. We have so many different versions of sedan. And there's so much capital being poured into these brands that are struggling to find buyers, struggling to figure out how to build their vehicles profitably. And I just want to ask these guys that keep pouring billions of dollars into these brands that are struggling to find customers, what is the end goal here? If you keep designing vehicles to be like gas cars, you're going to continue to struggle to find profitability. And if you keep expecting people to spend $60,000, $70,000 on your cars, they're just not going to be widespread. And if you don't know how to fundamentally rethink the way the vehicle is designed by requiring no paint for the exterior, by requiring smaller battery packs and still getting decent range out of it, you're not going to survive. They're all going to find the same fate. And that's why I think APTERA is criminally underrated, and it's shocking to me that they haven't found a couple $100 more million from some whale investors that can see what the future is for a vehicle footprint like this. So many wise choices from this company, realizing that the average car on the road has less than 2 people in them anyway, that I genuinely believe this could be the next big thing. They're using the small amount of investment they've gotten so far, and yet still the largest crowdfunding project in history, to get further to production than any other startup has ever gotten, with their battery pack supplier figured out, their assembly line in the works right now, their simple 6 main body structures already designed and being showcased right now in Paris, France. How are more investors not catching on to this idea that there is a vehicle unlike any other on the road that achieves better range, better affordability, incredible safety structures, and there's no other vehicle like this? Isn't that what you want to jump on as a potential investor that's looking for a way to make a difference in the world? You want to find something that's on the cusp of taking off. You want to find something that's truly not being valued properly, and no other company is making a vehicle like this. Honestly, I hate to say it, but if you're trying to invest in a startup that just wants to make another sedan, another pickup truck, or another SUV, they're all pretty much gonna fail compared to Tesla. And if you want to make the APTERA dream a reality because you've got the funds to do it, I would just mention that they started back in 2008, they failed to get the funds necessary, and that didn't stop them, okay? The original founders got their money back together again to restart this company because they're that passionate about it. I'm no billionaire, but I've never wanted to be more right now, because I think APTERA should be getting all of the investment right now in the electric vehicle space, because they're pioneering a new design that is built for the battery chemistries of today, built for the solar technology of today to unlock use cases we could never have from any other product on the market right now. None of this, of course, is investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. But seriously, I'm so impressed by what the community has raised for APTERA, but I'm disappointed whenever I see billions being wasted on brands that have no path towards profitability and have no intention on bringing a mass market affordable vehicle to any kind of scale to the market.